Hello and welcome to Building the Premier Accounting Firm. This podcast is dedicated to help individuals have a successful accounting, bookkeeping, and tax business. As part of this episode, one of the things that we want to focus on, as we do in each of our conversations, is helping you to actually have the confidence and competence to offer quality accounting services to get paid what you're worth. This podcast has episodes that are conversational with tips and tricks to help you apply in your business such things that you need to actually be focusing on that range from marketing and sales to lead generation, working with ideal clients and niching, pricing your services, perhaps pricing strategies, also considering various things that might be related to adding added value to your services, improving the workflow, practice management, staff training, client onboarding, and client retention strategies as well. With that, just keep in mind that we're working to help you become an accountrepreneur and actually have the tools and the resources you need, the confidence especially, to in fact build the premier accounting firm in your area. Today, I am your host, Roger Connect. I happen to be president of Universal Accounting Center, and for more than 20 years, I've had the privilege of working with numerous individuals around not only just the United States, but the world as they've started and built their accounting businesses. For many individuals, this is something that they've done part-time to supplement their income, or even full-time as their primary income. They may be individuals, solo entrepreneurs offering accounting services ranging from accounting, bookkeeping, and tax services to literally CPA firms that are actually working with staff members to provide quality services, not just in their geographical area, but perhaps around the world. Either case, I'm speaking to the business owners to help you actually run your businesses confidently and professionally. Now, today, as a host, I have a guest, Teena Chandler, someone I've known for a number of years and someone I'm excited to actually share with you because she is someone that I think you'll genuinely appreciate and like to know. Now, Teena, she is a mother of 4 teenage children, and she has been married for over 25 years to her high school sweetheart. She lives in a small town in northern Utah and enjoys being able to work from home. This has been a new experience for her starting a business because no one in her family, her extended family, has ever started a business. She has learned so much about herself during this journey and has also improved many parts of her life because of it. Since she was in middle school, she wanted to be a bookkeeper. However, she had no idea how to go about doing it. Well, that's no longer the case. So, Teena, welcome to the show.
Good morning, Roger. How are you?
I am excellent. So let's go back to, obviously you knew as a young child in middle school that you liked numbers, wanted to become a bookkeeper. Do you recall why that stood out? Why bookkeeping of all things?
I have no idea. I just remember I loved math and I just put it out there. I want to be a bookkeeper, but I didn't pursue that when I got out of high school because too many people told me how awful it would be to sit behind a desk all day, and that's not what I wanted to do. So I listened to them, but now I'm over 40 years old, and I'm doing what I want, and I absolutely love what I do.
That's great. Now, here's what's interesting. Obviously, you have this separation between middle school and today. So I'm curious, what was the journey that got you into a point where you actually started doing bookkeeping and actually had this as a profession that you were pursuing? How did you get into bookkeeping?
I don't know how this come about, but it just seems like every employer I had kept pushing me into the management position. Well, when you're in that position, you're responsible for some of the financial stuff. When I went back to work in 2014. I was hired on as a practice manager for a veterinary clinic, and I was responsible for the bookkeeping part of it, but I had very limited education and a lot of old ideas that I had from just keeping my own personal books. And I know now how much different it is to keep books for a business than it is to keep books for your personal checking account. I had taken 2 other bookkeeping courses trying to understand bookkeeping and understand what was more expected of me in my job. People would request financial statements from me, and I had done the very best I could do. And they would hand them back to me and tell me, try again. This is not what we're looking for. So I kept, in an effort to try and figure out what it is they're looking for, I took these courses, and neither one of them were able to make me understand what was going on. I could pass the test and I knew the answers to the questions. I knew, but I just never understood why. So I called Universal Accounting and they helped me understand. Essentially, color accounting took me back to kindergarten and started from the beginning. And I can't express to you what a relief it was to have that basic knowledge explained to me. It burned down everything that wasn't serving me and was able to rebuild something that I could understand.
First of all, I love it and thank you. I appreciate those kind words and so true. But let me just kind of put into context what I just heard you share, because I think so many of the listeners can relate. There are those that literally go about pursuing the accounting career by starting with the college, getting their degree, going into, let's say, maybe the audit field and working for the big corporations to literally go out there and get into corporate accounting. But there are so many others like you that they work in a job. They are given, like you were describing, management responsibilities, and from that, some accounting responsibilities. It could range from inventory to payroll, or perhaps you're getting into payables and receivables. And as you, through your career, start to take on more of those responsibilities, you tend to find that not only do you enjoy and like it, but it's something that you would like to do more of. And so I appreciate what you shared, because that was kind of the journey I heard you sharing. Now, obviously, it led you to Universal Accounting Center, and through that, you took some of the courses that we offer, where you were able to actually get the confidence I believe you needed to offer some quality accounting services. But this is the next question. Obviously, you were working, you had a job, you were doing the work. What led you to think you wanted to do this on your own and get clients and start your own business?
This may sound terrible, but it seemed like the harder I worked, I didn't get paid anymore. I tried so hard, for that recognition, for, here I'm going to give you a raise, or here's a bonus, or you're doing great. I could never find that. That was always something. So I guess I was putting into other people's hands my own validation. You and the others at Universal Accounting kept planting that seed. This could be something you're doing on your own. This could be something that you could build yourself and take your power back. This for me that's where it came. A necessity to me is I wanted to be able to validate myself. I wanted to be able to work harder and see results for the extra work I was putting in.
So obviously you were drawn to now starting your business, get your clients. I am so curious. You're in a position now where you're getting clients, you're taking on business. What has surprised you about this whole experience so far?
The freedom I have to create something that's my own.
Freedom's an interesting word, isn't it?
It is. It's not something I had expected.
So as you're getting these clients, you're working with them, taking care of their books, you're growing your own business. I guess I'm kind of curious, what kind of stories might you have about the changes that you've been able to actually maybe make or have with your clients as you started servicing their needs?
Well, my first client that I have is the veterinary that I worked for since 2014. And I was finally able to deliver him the information he continually asked me for. Those financial reports, he'd come to me and ask, what are our operating expenses? We need to figure out if our services are absorbing those costs as well. We need to be, and when he would ask me those things, I felt like a deer in the headlights. I don't even know where to start. Over the course of my time with Universal Accounting, I've been able to implement those things. And he trusts me so much to tell him what's going on. And I can see things pop up that I couldn't see before. And I feel like I'm so much more of an asset to him than I ever was before. And as I start onboarding different clients, something that I just treasure, that is so wonderful to me, is after that first meeting and I share with them what I can help them do, there's a physical relief I can see in them as I leave or we wrap up the meeting. They just feel better. They feel lighter, like, okay, we can take care of this. Someone's going to help me. And I love to be able to offer that to my clients.
That is awesome. I think there's so much to be said about the client having that sense of relief that this part of their business is being taken care of, or that they're getting the information they're needing to make more informed business decisions. So that's wonderful. I'm curious, how did your relationship change with the veterinarian once they started getting the right information from you and you started to actually be seen as a peer to them?
It actually was, we're able to sit down and have a conversation about how are we going to grow? How are we going to fix these problems? I have answers for him, where beforehand we were in a space where I just felt like I was failing him every day. And that really impacts so many other parts of your life when you feel like you're not doing what you're paid to do. And I'm able to, he calls me and asks me advice. Can we afford to do this? And I have an answer for him, not something I feel or think. It's something I can tell him. We can have intellectual conversations about his business, this livelihood that he has to support his family and the people that work for him, their families. It impacts so many people. And I finally feel like the things I'm doing and the time I'm spending on this is actually impactful.
Wonderful. So what has been a big surprise to you about your business so far? What is something that you didn't expect or maybe didn't anticipate, but you're now realizing that is a surprise to you?
Marketing isn't as bad as you think.
Good. I like that answer. Why isn't it as bad?
I've been terrified of marketing. I grew up in the age of the salesmen that go door to door, and then they come into your home and they don't leave until you say yes or buy something. And my parents hated that and would complain about it all the time. So whenever I think about marketing or trying to sell something that's mine, I feel like a salesman that is pushing things on them. And so once I was able to get past that block and just talk to people about what I do, there are people out there that don't want my services, and that's okay. We're still friends. But there are people out there that absolutely need me. And I've met with clients that say, you're not going to leave me, right? We need you. We need what you do. And so I've learned, and it surprised me, but I've learned that marketing really isn't here, buy my product. This is what I do. You should pay me for it. It's how can I help you? And let's see if we can work this out. Let's work through this. Let's ease some of your pains. It's a kind of a beautiful thing. And Clay helped me see that.
I love how you've described it. It seems very natural and comfortable.
It is.
Yeah. So one of the things that I'm curious to hear is you've been now obviously running your business. You have clients. What's been a big reward for you in your business? How's your life changed because of it?
I'm making what I want to make. I've taken some other courses that have helped me to manage my cash flow, which is a huge blessing, not only in my business, but in my personal life. And I'm able to have that money coming in, and I'm able to use it for my benefit. It doesn't just flow out. So I feel like there's a lot of things that I'm learning in my business that will help me empathize with my clients to understand where they're coming from. They just are too busy to deal with it, or they don't know what to do. And I'm not sure if I answered that question right.
No, you did. That was good. So here's my next question, though. I want to know, because of the journey you had where you were doing the books of business, you were struggling initially, you didn't feel as if you were giving the correct information or the needed information that the business owner was asking for. You went through the training, you took the courses. At what point do you remember actually realizing, oh my heck, I'm actually a professional bookkeeper. I'm an expert in some right. I know how to do this. I can help business owners. I can do this for clients. Do you remember when that mindset changed and all of a sudden you realized you were that expert?
Probably just last week, honestly.
Good. Congratulations. What changed?
I have struggled with imposter syndrome through this whole thing. It's been really a big bear for me because I've tried so hard to do what I'm supposed to do and wasn't able to deliver. And now I have the skills, and it was hard for me to wrap my mind around the fact that I could deliver what I was telling I would deliver. I met with my fifth and sixth client. They're partners now. They both have their own businesses. They're going into business together. And I was able to sit down and just talk to them and listen to what's going on, understand what their pain points were, understand where they're coming from. And actually, in my mind, I actually had a plan. I knew how to help them, not solve their problems for them, but how to help them understand their money and what's going on and organize things better for them. And as I talked to them, I was more relaxed this time. I wasn't trying to put on a front. It was just, I can do this. I really can help people.
You know, that imposter syndrome, I've dealt with this for years, where CPAs, enrolled agents, accountants, bookkeepers, tax, it doesn't matter. There's this moment where the individual struggles to believe that they can deliver what it is that their clients are paying for, that they really can help and make a difference, provide the value that they're offering. And that moment that all of a sudden they realize that they are actually helping their clients and they're appreciated and their clients are happy to pay them. At some point, there is that epiphany, just like you experienced, where the imposter syndrome fades away and it disappears, and you can literally hold your head up and know that not only can you make a difference, but you're deserving of the fees that you're charging for it. So that, whether it's last week, last month, last year, whenever that epiphany happens, I'm happy to hear that it's occurred. So that is wonderful. Let me ask about your relationships with family, friends. How do you think they see you differently now? How have you changed around them maybe?
I'm so proud to be able to have taught my kids that they can do anything they want to do. And I've told them, if you want to do something, don't you dare let anybody tell you that, whether it's sitting behind a desk or it's you're not going to want to do that. You know in your heart, I wish I would have done this 25 years ago. This has been life-changing for me. Some of the internal work that I've been forced to do to have the confidence to start a business has strengthened my marriage. I'm a better wife. I'm a better mother. I'm a stronger woman. And I'm able to just be more of who I want to be and someone I'm proud to be, because I've had to strengthen just myself inside. I never would have paid for a life coach. And absolutely, the things I have learned through her has absolutely changed my life, completely changed my life. I'm able to navigate things and with my mind and sort out things. I've struggled with anxiety, and I'm able to mentally navigate through those stressful times. It's such a blessing. And I'm able to, when you're not stressing about anxiety, you can be a better mom, a better wife. You can support the people around you so much better when you have control of what's going on inside of you. And had I not started a business, there wouldn't have been a need to grow that internally for me.
Very good. And you're so right. I liked how you brought up life coach. I think so often as business owners, when we're running our companies, there's this, I don't like the word balance. If anybody's listened to me for very long, they would know that I prefer not to use that word. But there is this challenge of how do you juggle things in life where you've got your spousal responsibilities, you as a wife, you've got your mother responsibilities, you've got your business responsibilities. Many people are involved in the community, your church, and so forth. And so there's a lot of things that we each juggle. And as we're doing this, we're just trying to say, how can I be the best at all of this? And to have a coach with whom we can work that can help us navigate all these things to do it effectively, I applaud anyone who realizes it's not that you're broke that you need to be fixed. It's that you recognize that you can be better because none of us are perfect. And so to work with a coach isn't to say, I don't know how to run. It's to say, I have goals to actually be the state champion. I want to run faster. And so nobody was questioning whether or not you could do it. It's just you recognizing that you feel you could do this better because it's that important to you. So I like that you brought up working with a coach. That was excellent. Let's talk about you and your business. And this is a question that I really enjoy asking because I think there's some great advice here. But imagine if you were to reflect back just a few years when you were considering and starting your business and realizing the challenges that you were going to face. What advice would you have for your younger self now that you've actually achieved the things that you have? What would you say? Would you be encouraging? Would you say, do this differently? Would you say, do this still? It's going to work out. What advice would you have?
I never had a plan. I never had, this was, so I just very heavily relied on all of the things that I had learned, all of the things that I hear your voices in my mind. The staff at Universal Accounting, I can hear your voices in my mind. And one thing that's really big for me, if I could go back in last October actually, was when I decided, okay, I'm really going to do this. Let's start a business. I would have said, just don't stop, just one little step at a time. And that's what's gotten me through. I didn't make this grand declaration that this was going to happen. I just one step at a time. And these tiny little baby steps, they just keep adding up. And as long as I'm doing a little bit every day, a little bit every week, changing something every month, onboarding one more client, it's tiny, teeny, tiny steps. And it's just a consistent effort. And I always hear your voice in my head, Roger, saying, trust the process. Don't stop. Just trust the process. And the whole process of Universal Accounting is so well thought out, well organized. As long as I just kept moving in the direction that I was being coached to move in, things were happening for me.
Well, Teena, first of all, thank you. And yes, keep moving, baby steps. Teena, trust the process. So here's something that I think is quite interesting is you've brought up Universal a number of times already, and I'm grateful for that. And I really enjoy hearing that, in fact. But for some of our listeners, that's not something that they're familiar with. It's not something that they understand what we're talking about. So just if you could, you brought up very early on color accounting. In your own words, what would you say about color accounting? Why was that so helpful to you?
Well, I'm not going to intend to make it sound oversimplistic. However, I needed old ideas to be burnt down before I could actually understand an accounting course. So without color accounting, I could not have understood the concepts. And I'm talking understand, not just know the answers, understand it. I felt like I was back in kindergarten. And I don't mean that in a derogatory way. I mean it as we all had to start our education in kindergarten with crayons and boxes and colors to visually understand those things. Had I not had color accounting, I don't believe I would have succeeded in the other courses, because that was where it changed for me. And it was something I could understand and feel it inside. Okay, I understand how things are flowing, why things need to be where they are, why they need to be recorded the way they are. And when I had a struggle wondering, I could always think back about the colors, and it was an amazing course. It was so amazing. And something that helped with my imposter syndrome and all of my fears, I started that course in tears. I was scared to death that I was going to fail a third time. And the beginning of that course, the instructor said, there are so many people who graduate college as CPAs who don't understand really the concepts of this. They have a very wonderful education, and there's so many pieces of this that they don't understand. For me, that made everything feel a little better. I didn't feel like such an isolated island out in a sea of people who knew what they were doing, and I didn't. I felt like I was part of a group of people who just need to understand this.
Well, I appreciate your explanation of that because I agree with you. Color accounting is so helpful. I've had CPAs, I've had business owners, I've had a variety of people that have taken the course just basically say that the simplicity of it to learn the entirety of the accounting model in a new way with colors and with kind of a game board experience was so helpful because they visually saw what was happening in the accounting model. They had the colors to retain the information. It was tactile in the sense that they were moving things around. All of those experiences combined to help them actually learn in layman terms what the accounting experience truly is can be really life-changing. It's similar to a person with dyslexia being able to read, but then all of a sudden having those epiphanies of insight where all of a sudden it isn't as much as a struggle as it is for so many other people. So thank you for that explanation. So here's the next question. I know that you've attended some live events that Universal has put on, and you've been very helpful at one where you took notes for me on a board. You have wonderful handwriting. I want to ask you why you felt that the live events were helpful for you personally. Why attend a live event? Why would you come back?
First of all, the speakers are amazing. The content that's there is amazing. Every time I go there, I've only been twice, but both times I went, the whole conference was completely different. They were different content, great takeaways. Both times I left very full of enthusiasm and ready to attack again. The reason I went back the second time, I was so ready to have that opportunity to get pumped up again, because this is not something that's just easily maintained. You get lost in the day-to-day tasks that you're doing, and sometimes you can lose your enthusiasm for it. The other part of it is I have some amazing friendships that were developed there, and we still talk when we need to pump each other up. When we can't have a conference, we get to talk among one another, and I love those relationships that we've been able to start at these conferences. They're amazing and very good use of my time.
Wonderful. You know, I think a lot of people attend conferences for various reasons. Some come for the specific speaker that may be coming as a keynote. Maybe it's topics that are going to be addressed as part of the different talking points. There's a lot of people that come because they want to meet the vendors, or maybe they want to meet their peers. Regardless of your purpose for coming, I always think people will actually leave with some unexpected treats. And one of the things that you brought up was definitely the friendships. I've seen these grow over the years, people making connections that they wouldn't otherwise have with peers that, like you said, you can reach out to and get the help that you're needing when needed. So great relationships, and it's always nice to reconnect and see old friends and get together again. So again, I look forward to seeing you at our next live event. You also brought up in our conversation the importance of coaches. I may be mistaken, but I think you're working with Robin. You mentioned Clay by name. Tell me how working with these coaches have been helpful to you. How have they made a difference in your business?
I purchased a whole bunch of new courses at my first conference from Cindy, and I remember her saying, "You can do this. You're going to do wonderful things." She was such a support, and I was saying, I shouldn't be going into debt for this. I shouldn't be borrowing money. The first part of it, I paid for with cash, but I didn't have cash to do the second round of classes I wanted. And she said, "It's okay because you're going to do it. You're going to," and her words were so amazing. And she just gave me the courage to move forward. Clay helped me understand I mentioned Clay. He helped me understand the beauty of marketing and how we can help people. He was so insightful for me that at our last conference, he come and sat at my table and put his hand on my arm and said, and run through a marketing thing. And I was well into our conversation before I realized he was demonstrating to me how a marketing conversation could go. And it was completely different than what I had built up in my mind. Robin is a sweet friend of mine. I just love her to pieces, and I cannot ever thank her for all that she's done. And you, Roger, are always in my head. Trust the process. I hear you all the time when I'm facing challenges, and I could not have done this without my coaches and having them hold me accountable to the things that they challenge me to do. And it's never, they always, when I say they hold me accountable, it's not like a parent holding a child accountable. It is a friend helping a friend continue on their journey and to be a better person and to be a better business owner. There was no way I could have started what I've done without coaches. Priceless.
That is wonderful. And honestly, I want to pass this along to each of them. I think the praise that you shared of each is definitely something they need to hear. Regarding Universal and what you were talking about, there's two things that if anyone's following Universal or watches some of our videos, you'll hear some phrases, one of which is being in business by yourself or for yourself, but not by yourself with Universal. And if you think about that phrase by itself, being in business for yourself, this isn't a franchise. You're not paying royalties. It's a turnkey system that you're able to implement, grow the business as you would like, offer the services you would intend to, and do this part-time, full-time as a solo entrepreneur, do this with the staff, train your staff to offer quality services. I mean, it's endless as to what you're doing. It's basically your business. But when you consider that second half of the phrase, being in business for yourself, but not by yourself with Universal, it's more than just the curriculum and training. The courses themselves are definitely standalone. You can go through the training, implement the things that you're taught, offer the quality services that you need to. But every course comes with a designated coach that you're assigned to learn the curriculum, to apply the curriculum, and speak with a person that's actually doing what you're being taught in their own business. And that way you have kind of a mentor that you can fall back to. And that's where I think Universal's programs are so unique, is the coaching that you've been describing. It's that additional human element that comes to the equation. So I thank you for explaining all that. I think this is a little biased at this point, but I definitely want to ask it. What advice would you have for someone who is considering starting their own business? Maybe they're listening to this episode and they're just wondering, starting my own bookkeeping, accounting business, is it for me? Should I do it? Should I take that leap of faith? What advice would you have for them?
Do you want some freedom? Do you want to get paid what you're worth? Do you want to have your validation lie within yourself? I have a little party every time I figure something out. It's amazing. What are you waiting for? Do it. Just do it.
I love it. Just do it. Do it. So good. Here's what I'd like to do. I want to ask you just some casual conversational questions here that I'd really think everyone would like to hear. So we're going to have some fun here, okay? So the first thing, you've been bringing up freedom. What does freedom mean to you?
I get to create anything I want. If I don't want to do taxes, I don't have to do taxes. I don't have to conform to anybody else's idea of what a business should look like. And I can do anything I want, and I have people behind me that will help me figure it out. I love it. Freedom is, it's opening up my creative side, and I'm able to be what I want to be and create what I want to create and serve how I want to serve.
Excellent. How about this one? What are you thankful for?
I am so thankful for hard times that push us out of our comfort zones. I am thankful that I was in a place where I was so unhappy. I had to reach out and pay for some help. And so I called Universal Accounting, and I'm so thankful for the hard things I've survived that brought me to that place.
Wonderful. This is an interesting question. How has faith been a part of your success?
Oh my goodness. It's huge. Faith is a huge thing. You talk about declaring to the universe. And I wasn't too long ago, I decided that I wanted 8 clients before the end of the year. And 2 months later, I have 7 clients, 10 contracts, it just comes so quickly. And when you say universe, to me, it is my Heavenly Father. He is guiding me to be a better person. It's faith is all of it. That's the whole basis of everything. And I wouldn't have made the call without faith. I wouldn't have taken those steps without faith. And every time I exercise a little bit of faith, I get I get so much in return. It is amazing.
That's beautiful. Thank you. I wanted to think of a mentor, someone that maybe earlier in your life, maybe recently that you've worked with, that you reflect on, you've learned from, you make decisions based on what they may have taught or shown you. Who is that mentor, and what did you learn from them?
I have so many mentors. There's so many pieces and parts of life that, whether it's in your business or your personal life, there's so many different places and pieces and parts. That's why I've loved my experience with universal accounting. And any of you who are listening, nobody's paid me to say what I'm saying. This is absolutely genuinely sincere. There are so many pieces and parts of this. When I think of marketing and I need a mentor, I think of Clay. When I need tax help or advice or anything, I think of Adam. If I have life help and I'm struggling with some anxiety, I think of Robin. I think of Cindy and her fight for all of the things that she's had at this point in her life and all the struggles she's had. She's a mentor. You, in all of your confidence, Roger, are a mentor. All of you are my mentors in business and life, because I share personal relationships with some of them. It's so many things that are just wrapped up in that. So I have a lot of mentors, and I'm very grateful for them and their part in my life.
Wonderful. Thank you for that. I have definitely humbled myself. I truly, truly am. I think the world of you. You're doing the hard work, and I appreciate the kindness of what you've said. I want the others to hear this. I'm definitely going to share your words with them, because they need to hear it as well, because really this is a people business. And at the end of the day, we're helping each other. And when we're alone, and so many of us as entrepreneurs, especially running our own businesses, we're the top, and it can be somewhat lonely at the top, is what the phrase is. And it's nice to hear that you've got these resources that you can tap into. And I'm glad that I know each and every one of them, and I think highly of all of them. And I'm glad I could be just among that list of people. So thank you.
And I can't forget Veronica too, because she described herself as well as someone who was just starting out and lost. And she's such a lady. She's such a wonderful, strong woman, and she's wonderful too. I can't leave her out. I cannot forget her.
Well, don't forget her, because she is an amazing person as well. And I agree. I'm glad that you brought her back up, because each of these people are so instrumental in what I do and what you're experiencing. So thank you for mentioning them by name. Let me do this. I want to do a summary of our conversation and just kind of highlight a few things. And then I'm going to come back to you for a closing thought, something that you can just share with us in parting. But before I go there, I do want to just mention that there are a few things available as special offers brought to you by the sponsor of today's episode, Universal Accounting. What you could do is, as the listeners, go to the episode description, and in the episode description, find more information about the following. The first is a turnkey business plan. This is basically the plan that you need in order to focus on things you need to do to build your business as an accounting professional. This will address the 4 key things that you need to be considering, such as marketing and sales, pricing your services, offering quality accounting services, and more. So definitely take the time to go to the episode description and see what you need to learn about your business as you're building the premier accounting firm. It's there that you'll have access to this free course. It is the turnkey business plan for accounting professionals. The other thing is color accounting. Obviously, Teena was very good at explaining how color accounting was so helpful in this process, this journey for her. And so I'd like to share with you some information about color accounting. The easiest way to understand it is it is a layman's approach to the accounting model, where you go through and in a very unique way learn the accounting principles so that you can not only understand the accounting model yourself, but more importantly, communicate this information to your accounting clients. It's meant to actually be that bridge or that way of communicating information to them so that they can use it to make their business decisions. The next one happens to be the professional bookkeeper program. Obviously, she spoke earlier of getting the confidence and the ability to go out there and service her clients. And so I'd like you to learn more what you can do to become a certified professional bookkeeper, and as such, be designated as someone that specializes in the day-to-day applications of accounting in small business. An excellent program designed to actually help you go out there and start and build your own accounting and bookkeeping business. The last is the coaching. I'd be amiss if I didn't give you some information regarding the coaching that is offered by Universal Accounting. It's here that you'll learn about the various coaches that she shared with us earlier. Teena was very kind as to what it is these people have done for her as she's started and built her business. Learn what the coaching programs are related to the courses offered by Universal Accounting Center, and see what it is that you can also experience as you implement these coaches and use their services in your business growth as you, in fact, build the premier accounting firm in your area. So go there to the episode description and get that information that you're needing in order to work on your business. Now, Teena, what are some final thoughts that you'd like to share with everyone?
I just want to say I'm very blessed to have found the Universal Accounting. I'm very blessed to have been able to be led through this journey, and I am so grateful that when I'm explaining to my clients what it is I do, and when they want to know why I'm qualified to do it, I'm able to say, I can do this, but if I have any questions, I have an entire team of wonderful people who can answer any question I have. And it just helps me to navigate through those conversations without feeling like I am inadequate, because I'm not. I have an entire team backing me up, and it is amazing.
Love, love, love it, and so very true. Happy to be working with you, Teena. This is an amazing thing. You've accomplished so much, and especially in such a short period of time. I'm happy for the successes you're experiencing. You deserve those. And I appreciate you being on the show today. I know that there are a number of listeners who can identify with your experience and, more importantly, are inspired by it, as I know I am. So thank you. What I'd like to do is, as I wrap this up, is obviously encourage all of our listeners to subscribe to the podcast. You can listen to our other episodes and basically hear from the experts and see what it is that they're doing in their businesses to actually address the various needs that you have as you're taking on clients, servicing your clients, and being the expert that you are. For that, I also encourage you, for more information on how you can apply these principles in your business, is to visit us at universalaccountingschool.com, or you can give us a phone call at 801-265-3777. And always remember this: if it's about accounting, it is universal. Take care and have a great day.